Citing the risk of martial law, a federal judge in Oregon, appointed by Donald Trump no less, tonight stopped Trump, at least temporarily, from sending the National Guard to Oregon. The judge, Karen Immergut, basically found that the state of Oregon was likely to succeed in its case against Trump, saying that it was illegal under the U.S. Constitution for him to be sending the National Guard to Portland. So therefore, she issued a temporary restraining order stopping Trump, at least temporarily, from sending such troops to Oregon pending the resolution of the case. Now, this is going to go to an appeal court and then probably the Supreme Court, possibly. And we'll see, because the Supreme Court tends to be very MAGA and tends to rubber stamp anything Trump wants to do. I want to read you a few paragraphs from NBC News, including her mentioning martial law. Immergut wrote in her ruling that the U.S. Constitution grants Congress the power to call forth troops, the militia in the founding document, to execute laws, suppress an insurrection, or repel an invasion. The judge wrote that Trump's attempt to federalize the National Guard, absent constitutional authority, undermines the sovereign interest of Oregon. Quote, "This country has a long-standing and foundational tradition of resistance to government overreach, especially in the form of military intrusion into civilian affairs," she wrote. "This historical tradition boils down to a simple proposition. This is a nation of constitutional law, not martial law." That's quite interesting. Defendants have made a range of arguments that, if accepted, defendants meaning Trump, if accepted, risk blurring the line between civil and military federal power to the detriment of this nation. She's warning that Trump is trying to institute martial law in America. Pretty scary stuff, guys. Great that the judge stood up to him. I'm not convinced this is going to stand on appeal, because the Supreme Court, like I said, tends to rubber stamp everything this guy does.